welcome to Coach's Corner, everyone. I'm Therese Marszak, right now joined by Coach Scott of the women's team. Thanks for being here with us today.
Sure.
All right, before we start talking about the W&J game that happened last night, let's first talk about the Thomas More game. Before you got on the court, how did you feel about how the game was going to go?
I felt good about the game. I felt they came. I felt long trip for them maybe was getting to them, them traveling so much. And I don't know, the attitude of the team and the girls were like, you know what, let's just go out there and play. We got nothing to lose. And I was very comfortable and confident that we were going to have a good game.
Mm-hmm. Now, you were right with them at halftime. And why do you think that this game was so different from the previous game whenever you went there?
Oh, that's a good question. I think defensively, us maybe throwing some different things out there, us playing a little bit more confident as a team, I think also was a big difference. And it always is hard going to Thomas More and playing at Thomas More. So I felt, and maybe they felt that maybe they came in a little bit too confident.
Mm-hmm. Now, you said that the last Coach's Corner that every single person on their team was able to start. Mm-hmm. Now, how did you adjust your game plan to how they play?
We kind of tried to make it simple, and so we wouldn't have to think too much out there, and just have one person designated to double team, and then we kind of switched that up as the game plan, just so it was kind of able to fit whoever was going to come in and step up and step up from them off the bench.
Mm-hmm. What do you think was going through Thomas More's coach's head?
He looked a little bit anxious. He looked a little bit nervous, uncomfortable. But again, they're a great team, and they made the big shots when they needed to. And we had our opportunities and our chances, which we had some key turnovers down there in the stretch, and didn't pull through. But like I said, they're ranked 5th in the nation, and they made the shots when they needed to make the big shots.
Okay. That kind of leads into my next question. You were down by 3 with 3 minutes to go and ended up by losing by 13 points. Where do you think those points came from for them?
Came from the hardest shot to actually make in basketball, which is the 3 in the corner. I think there was 2 there, and then another one was a 3 off of an offensive rebound that they got that they made. So I mean, we wanted them. That's the kind of shots that we wanted to give up to have them make, and it was actually somebody that we wanted to shoot the ball, but like I said, they stepped up and made the big shots.
Now, looking back at the game, watching the film of it, what do you think? What is the one thing, if you could have changed anything about that game, do you think would have turned out in a win for Westminster?
I think if a couple maybe better passes here inside, a turnover here that you didn't really expect. We missed a couple one-on-ones that could have went our way. So I mean, I don't know if I would have went back and changed anything. I just think if we would have finished the job, we would have had an opportunity to win.
Right. Now, although it was a great game, you guys you still lost. So what is the mood in the locker room after such a good game but a loss?
I think with the way that we have been playing and losing, to be up there with Thomas More on that level for that day was very uplifting and gave us some confidence, I think, because if you look at that, we don't match up at them at all. Like you go down the line and there's not one person that we match up with. So for us to even to be where we were was a great. It was a great tribute to the hard work that we did that day.
Now let's talk about the W&J game a little bit. Whenever they came to our courts, the team got embarrassed. I mean, we got blown out by W&J. What changed this game?
Like I said, I think we're playing a lot better. To tell you the truth, when they came here, I really don't know what happened. I mean, it was just they jumped into a zone and we just weren't hitting, weren't making, and our defense wasn't there. It was almost like it was, I was watching somebody else play. The second game, I think we wanted to come out and prove that we could play with them and be on that same level, and it I was impressed with the way that we worked and hustled out there. That kept us. I mean, so many, I think there was, I don't know how many jump balls there were. I don't know how many offensive rebounds that we got to give us those chances to be in that game.
Now, they have such huge posts. It's hard. I mean, you have a smaller team. It's hard to defend them. So what kind of changes did you make for the whole team to guard those posts?
Just kind of try to try to have the posts help each other out. With the bigger posts coming in, it was better to kind of have maybe the posts go and double since they were bigger bodies. But I mean, they're huge, and they back you down on the block, and then once they get down on that block, it's hard to even the double sometimes doesn't do anything because they're already so far down. Right.
Now, last night you jumped into a zone and you switched it up a lot last night with the zone and the man. Was there a reason behind that?
With Emily getting into foul trouble and KK had to also, it was, then you only have two posts to rotate in, and when you and KK got tired, we couldn't put a guard on their other big post player, so we had to jump into a zone, which really didn't work out too well for us. And they made the shots that they needed to make to get that lead, which
Now, one thing I did notice a lot about last night was that W&J got to the line a lot more than we did. So how do you think we can change that?
Well, that was one thing that we talked about after the game, me and Coach Miller, that we only went to the line four times the whole game, 4. So which to me that means number one, we didn't get the ball inside that we should have. We shot 20 times from the 3-point line, which shows. I mean, and at the end we were putting up some, but that's not our game. That's not us. Us shooting 20 times beyond the arc. And I know they sat in the zone, but we didn't drive. We didn't cut the seams. We didn't get the ball inside to even force us to go to the line. So that was a huge number that caught our eye too.
You guys have been playing so hard, but you just don't come out with the win. Why? Like, what is wrong?
I don't really think anything's wrong. I mean, we started playing well against Thomas More and now W&J again. And you know what? If you look down the line, we don't match up with either one of those. I mean, look at their posts, look at their bench, look at their guards they have coming in. I mean, there was a point in time where you guys were walking up the floor because we were so tired. And to even be in that game is like I said, it's not something wrong. It's not that. We're in that game because we work hard and we are getting better. And in the point in time where we have Thomas More and W&J back to back, and we are playing our best that we have played so far. Now I'm ready for Waynesburg. I'm ready to take it to them.
Well, thanks for being here with us today. And right after this, we'll be back with Jess Muessler of the women's team. So stay tuned.
What would it mean to you to have the most updated hair wardrobe using Paul Mitchell? Needing a change or just want to update your style? Then call the Right Place Hair Salon. Their staff has the newest techniques and color formulas for the latest hair collections. The Right Place is a Paul Mitchell focus salon that not only creates new hair and confidence for you, but also offers tanning and waxing services. So if you want it done right, call the Right Place Salon, 724-946-9299, or check us out on the web at therightplacesalon.com.
I'm starving. I love being hungry because when the mom in my family's on the go all day and comes home to our hungry family, I know she's going to serve up Augustine's Italian frozen pizza. The smell of roasted garlic, fresh mozzarella, and zesty marinara lingers throughout the house as if we lived in our own Italian village. And the best part is Augustine's frozen pizza is made right here in Newcastle and can be found in our local grocery store. 6 varieties of Augustine's ready-to-bake pizzas. Love being hungry. Love Augustine's frozen pizzas.
Welcome back to Coach's Corner, everyone. I am now joined by the guard, number 14, Jess Muessler. Thanks for being here with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Well, first I want to talk about a little bit about a comparison of last year's team to this year's team. Last year's team, you had a great season. You didn't come off of any really long losing spells, and right now you're on a 6-game losing streak. What do you think is the difference between last year's team and this year's team?
Last year's team, we had a lot of great seniors who stepped it up and won a lot of those games for us. And this year, we're a lot younger. I know for myself, I didn't get a lot of playing time last year, so now coming into this season, to have to step up and be put into a role where I do have to step up for my team And a lot of the other players, sophomores and the freshmen, obviously have to step up too, because we don't have a lot of seniors to lead us.
Now, Thomas More was an awesome game. Although it was a loss, what are your views on the game?
Even though we did lose, I feel like we have improved a lot since the last time we played Thomas More. I felt like we stuck with them, and we could have won that game.
Now, last time you played Thomas More, you guys got blown out by them. This time you stayed with them. What was the change in the attitude of the team or the game plan?
With the game plan, I feel like we switched up defenses a lot. We threw a lot of different things at them to try to frazzle them, and I think it did frustrate them. Also, I just feel like we wanted it more. Watching them coming out into the court, they didn't hustle. They felt like they had that win. They had it already, and I felt like we outworked them, and we worked a lot harder, and they just ended up hitting the big shots at the end of the game to win it. They stepped it up right at the end.
Now, with the Thomas More game and even last night's game with the W&J game, a good shooter is crucial, and everybody knows that we look to you to make the big shots. So how does that feel to know that whenever you go in the game, everybody trusts you and believes in you to make that shot?
I love being in that position to step up and take a big shot. Growing up, that's always what I loved to do, was to shoot, and I know that when I shoot, it should go in. And I believe every time I do shoot the ball that is going to go in the hoop. So I love to be put in that position because I think I can definitely make those shots for my team.
Is shooting something that came very natural to you, or did you really have to work at it, or was it a little bit of both?
My dad taught me how to shoot. He was a great shooter. He actually played for Westminster when he was in college, and he taught me how to shoot, and I shot every day for hours. That's all I ever did growing up as a kid, and I just love to shoot, so I feel like it does come very natural to me.
Now, last night's game was just like the Thomas More game. Why don't you think you guys ended up winning that game?
Both games, I feel like we played hard until the end, and the better team hit their big shots to win the game. I feel like we didn't match up well with them. They have bigger posts, so it's hard to defend them. And I just feel like just with certain situations that happened in the game towards the end, they were given the opportunity to win the game.
Okay, what do you think is the hardest part about beating W&J? Because they have been a rival for many, many years. So what is it, just that they intimidate you, or is it just that they just have better players? What do you think is the problem?
I feel like the last 2 years it's been the players. They do have very big posts, which they're unusually tall for girls, so it's hard to match up with them and defend them. And they always come out very physical against us. They're a very physical team, so it's hard to fight back.
Watching you last night was so much fun because you were literally, after every loose ball, your body was flying all over the place. What motivates you to sacrifice your body like that?
I think I like diving for loose balls more than I like shooting, which is kind of a surprise, but I was really pumped up for the W&J game. Coach Scott had told us before the game that she wanted us to out-hustle them and she wanted us diving for every loose ball. And I feel like when you're the team that's diving for all the loose balls, it shows that you want it more. And I think it intimidates the other team as well.
Now, listening to the stands last night, they weren't very nice. I guess it was their student section were yelling things at our team that weren't wonderful. So how do you deal with that? Do you even hear them? And if you do hear them, what is your reaction to that?
Yeah, I heard them say a couple things to me last night, and I wanted to say something back, but that would have just riled them up more. And I feel like you just have to take that and use it as motivation and to just tick you off and just make you want to play harder and take it out on the team and take it out on your opponent.
All right, now this is the part where I ask you rapid fire questions. You answer as quickly as you can, okay?
Okay.
All right, the moodiest player.
I would say Lynn, and just because she's my roommate too, so I have to be around her a lot.
The person you couldn't play without.
Probably Emily. She's definitely a spark for our team, and she always steps up when we need it.
Okay, and the funniest face expressions in a game.
Amy, for sure. She has some really funny facial expressions when she's playing.
And the person who's most likely to punch a girl on the other team.
I would say Gina, because she gets she turns into angry Gina when she's on the court, and she gets really fired up. So I could see her punching someone else on the other team.
Well, thanks for being here with us today. And right after this commercial, we'll be back with Coach Ondeko.
Ice skating, what a great form of exercise and fun. And there's no better place than Hess Ice Rink in Newcastle. Interested in figure skating or hockey? Come in and be part of our Learn to Skate program, open to all ages and skill levels. Hess Ice Rink, the home of the Hess Hockey Association and the area's largest competitive figure skating team, open every day. Hess Ice Rink welcomes all ages to come and enjoy the excitement and sport of ice skating. Let Hess plan your next birthday party or occasion. Hess Ice Rink on Mitchell Road in Newcastle.
All the behind-the-scenes positions for today's TV broadcast from camera to director are held by Westminster College broadcast communications majors. Broadcast instruction from professionals in the field, plus extensive hands-on experience in both radio and television, can be found close to home. Be part of the action in the future. Learn more about broadcasting at Westminster College. For more information, contact the Westminster College admissions office.
Welcome back. Right now we're joined by Coach Ondeko. Thanks for being here with us.
Well, thanks for having us again.
All right, now before we talk about the nail biter versus W&J last night, I want to talk a little bit about Thomas More. How happy were you with the Thomas More game?
Well, we were happy with our whole week. It was a good week beating Grove City and then beating Thomas More. But yeah, the Thomas More game was a good win. I thought it was, you know, the win against Grove City, they had a few players suspended. And even though we played well, you know, you kind of realized that it would have been a different game, maybe not a different outcome, but, you know, Thomas More was healthy, they were playing well, and, you know, it was just a good effort on the part of our guys to play, you know, 40 really good minutes of basketball and come out of there with a win.
Mm-hmm. Now, anybody that I've talked to in the past couple weeks has just been talking about how your team has really been turning around and doing a whole lot better. What do you say whenever you hear these or what do you think whenever you hear these comments?
Well, it's true. We are playing a lot better, but you know the reason behind it is up until really last night was our health of our team. You know, we've had a lot of injuries. We had a couple suspensions, and it just seemed like every week and a half, 2 weeks, someone was going out for an extended period of time, or lost for the season, or out for 3 or 4 games, and you know we were always revamping everything every few practices, and you know, for the past month we've been healthy. We haven't had anyone injured, so you know the guys are getting a lot of work together, getting familiar with each other, and you know, then Max got hurt in racquetball class Monday, and so right there you go. Now we're into last night with again shorter players, so a lot of it just has to do with the health of our team.
Mm-hmm. Would you say that besides the health of your team, how do you think the team is connecting more now than they were before? Well,
I think, you know, they've it's just been a really good group of guys. They've just really stuck with it. They've been through a lot of adversity, and you know, when you're 5 and actually I don't even know I think we've won 5 games, 5 and whatever we are, 25 and 16, I think. You know, there's plenty of times along the way that our guys could have just said, you know what, oh, this is just too much. We're packing it in. But they've really hung together. They come to practice every day and really try and work through it. And again, it's probably the reason we won the last 2 games and lost in overtime yesterday. So I'm just really proud of the fact that they've done that. And you know, I think there's no reason to say or think that wouldn't continue, hopefully, through the PAC playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Now, last night was definitely exciting. And in the first half, for about the first 15 minutes, you guys completely shut them down. I think they had 8 or 10 points, something like that. Where did that come from? How did you do that?
Well, we just played a zone, and they don't have a very good shooting team, and you know, we just played good defense. It was a low-scoring game, 31-21 or 31-20 at halftime, I think, and that's kind of what we were expecting. Again, not so much from them, but also us. You know, we had Max hurt, basically playing 5-6 guys, so we thought it'd be a low-scoring game, and you know, we were just able to, they just didn't shoot well. And obviously in the second half, they shot a lot better.
Mm-hmm. How do you think in the first half they adjusted in the last couple minutes to the way you guys were playing?
I'm not sure it was so much that they adjusted as that they just started to make shots. I mean, against the zone, you're going to get shots, and, you know, if you've got to be able to knock them down. And, over a 40-minute game. Eventually they knocked down a few shots, and probably their defense, they defended well, made it tough on Craig to score and get good shots. And, again, we had the ball there at the end of the game, score tied, and a chance to win it with 7 seconds left, and just didn't make the play we needed to make.
Yeah, now going into halftime, and you notice that they're starting to make their shots, did you change anything coming out into the second half, and was there anything said to motivate the players to just come out?
Not really. They didn't really make them in the first half. It was mostly, about midway through the second half, they knocked down 3 or 4 in a row and got back into the game. And but again, we tried to just grind it out and had a lead with a minute left, and then, like I said, we just had to make a couple plays, and we just didn't. So, on to the next one.
Right. Now, then, as you said, the game did end up going into overtime. Where do you think you guys kind of went wrong, so to speak?
Well, I'll tell you what, in an overtime game like that where there are not going to be many possessions, very critical, they got the tip and immediately hit a three-pointer. You go down 3 right off the bat, it's tough, and that was their first lead of the game since 2-1. They didn't lead the entire regulation, and we came down and missed. They scored. Now you're down 5, and there's only 3 minutes left. Not going to be many possessions, and I think by that point in time, the momentum had certainly shifted, and it was certainly in their favor.
Mm-hmm. Now, losing that game last night, it was definitely a disappointment. And looking further into the season, how big of a comfort is it to you knowing that going into the PAC tournament, everything is a clean slate?
Well, it's big. You're playing for seed right now, and again, since there's not really a clear favorite, Bethany's playing well, but I think they can be beaten. I think it's one of the reasons our guys have stayed so positive. They know they can get in there and win 3 games in a row and win this tournament. So, we're just going to work for the next week and a half to get ready for that scenario. Okay,
well, thanks for being here with us today. And after we come back, we'll be with Ryan Murray.
Why do dogs chase cars? It's the tires. We love them. And Tire Express loves tires as much as I do. Plus, Tire Express is the kind of place you can comfortably send your grandmother. Tire Express is great, with dependable tires at everyday low prices and honest service. And Tire Express is as fast as me, Chico. They get you in and out in a hurry. That's why Matt's been in the tire business for over 25 years. That's 175 in dog years. Tire Express, often copied, never equaled. When it comes to tires, they're the top dog.
So you're a huge Western Pennsylvania football fan? Then ncnewsonline.com is for you. Crunch is an award-winning internet site of the Newcastle News devoted to area high school football, where you'll get a daily fix of schedules, scores, rosters, highlights, opinion, and player profiles, plus video and photo galleries. Online at ncnewsonline.com. It's football coverage as it happens, designed for you, the dedicated fan. Crunch online at ncnewsonline.com.
Welcome back. Right now we're joined by Ryan Murray, 0 on the men's team. Thanks for being here with us today.
Thank you.
First, I want to say congratulations on a great game. You had 16 points and 13 rebounds last night, and it seemed like all game they were really in your face and wouldn't let you do anything. How do you deal with pressure that strong?
I don't know, you just got to keep moving on offense. And I kept trying to post up so I can get position on the guys and play the game from inside out.
Right. Now, would you consider yourself more of a post player or a guard?
I've always played guard my whole life, but since we're not that tall, I guess I'd be a post player here.
Right. Did it come easy for you to like be in that post position?
Yeah, because my high school coach, he used to coach Duquesne. He taught us all post moves in high school, so I learned most of it from him.
Now, speaking of in-your-face defense, I've noticed that you've been wearing a mask lately. And what is that?
Well, I fractured my nose the St. Vincent game, and Toomey molded me a little mask, and ever since, I just couldn't wear it last night, though. I had to take it off.
Yeah, or like, how long are you supposed to be wearing that for?
The rest of the year.
Oh, okay, great. I noticed that last night that sometimes you're getting some cheap shots towards the face. So how do you deal with like a dirty player? Because it just looked like they were just trying to beat you up.
I know. I was trying to tell the refs too, but I don't know. You just got to play through it and just not do something stupid like get a technical or get an intentional foul yourself.
Right. Well, do you try to retaliate in any kind of subtle way?
The refs aren't looking.
Yeah.
Give a couple back.
Another awesome part of your game, which is so much fun to watch, is your rebounding. I mean, you get so high up in the air, and you had 13 rebounds last night. How do you train yourself to do that? Is there something special, or is it just instinctive?
It's instinctive. It's just box someone out, follow the ball. That's all I really do.
Now, some people I've asked before, like, do certain, like, calf exercises or something. They jump so high. Is there anything you do?
I used to play volleyball.
Oh, okay.
That's what did it for me.
Yeah. Now, there was a 6'8" guy on the team last night, and you were still getting rebounds over him. How was that possible? How did you do that?
I don't know, he was a big body to move out. We kept moving him out, like Jake and Mayberry. We're just trying to get him out of the way so all of us can get rebounds, because he's so tall.
Now, Craig Hannon is definitely somebody that the team looks towards to make their points. Last night he wasn't exactly on, or he wasn't getting the shots off.
Yep.
How nice is it for you to know that there are like 4 other people on the team that can definitely be looked to score?
It helps everyone out, because if Craig's not on, then you have 4 other people that can score. So it bounces the floor out a lot.
Now, if it came down to you and you had to pick whether you'd like to rebound, like be a crazy rebounder, or score a bunch of points, what would you rather pick in a game?
Crazy rebounder.
Crazy rebounder. Now, I asked Jess the same question before. Their crowd was a little intense last night, yelling kind of mean things out to you guys. How do you deal with it? Do you hear it?
No, I don't hear it at all.
You block it out?
Block it out.
Yeah. Now, looking towards Waynesburg, do you see them as being a difficult team to beat?
Yeah. They can put up a lot of points, but I think we match up really good with them. That's one of the teams we match up really well with. So I think we can handle them, but they can put up a lot of points. So.
Now, playing them last time, you guys won, but it was a closer game. Has the coach said anything about how you guys are going to change the game around?
Not yet. Our first practice tonight is for that, so I didn't say anything yet.
Okay. Now, Max Spinner is out because of an ankle injury, playing racquetball. So that's never good, because he is a big part of your team, a good scorer.
Yep.
How big of a loss is that for your team?
It's a big loss, because now we're only like 6, 7 deep. Or not get as many bodies on the floor. He's our, 4th leading scorer too, I think. It's a big loss for us.
All right. Now, one person I always watch whenever they don't get in the game a lot, but is Peter McNichol. He's from Ireland. How neat is it for you to play with somebody from a different country?
Oh, it's fun. He's a great guy. I love being around him. It just doesn't get in that much.
Yeah. And another thing that I asked your coach was, you guys have improved tremendously in the past month. Why do you think that is?
I think we changed up our offense a little bit. We're slowing it down now. We were just too little out of control, I think. But now that we're just slowing it down and going through our offenses now, we're playing a lot better.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you one rapid-fire question, so answer as quickly as you can. Person most likely to punch or fight somebody during a game?
During Chauncey.
Chauncey, okay. Well,
or
thanks.
Coach Ondeka.
Excellent. Well, thanks for being here with us today.
Right.
And we will join you guys next week for more Coach's Corner.
Cash back each month. Call 1-888-298-OPEN to apply. Simply Cash makes any gas purchase feel better, 5% better. Plus, it gives you 5% off wireless phone service and office supplies. It also gives you 1% back on virtually everything else. And it's easy. Your cash back appears each month on your statement automatically, with no limit to how much cash back you can earn.
So call now for the fee-free Simply Cash business card. It's the only card that makes it this easy to put unlimited cash back into your business each month.
We know what you want. That's why we're open. How American Express serves small business.
Do you know the 5 big reasons why you should invest in gold today? Well, now you can, with this free special report from Monex called Gold in the Age of Uncertainty. Learn the 5 golden keys to the gold market your stockbroker will never tell you. You'll also discover how gold has increased over 180%. And why they could go much higher, which means real profit potential for you. It's valuable information available exclusively from Monex, and you can have it free today with our compliments. Gold is a solid, tangible asset, and in times like these, it's smart to have something behind you more substantial than mere paper. Don't wait.